What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode. So today's episode is going to be another one of those that I actually recorded last year. I put it on my other channel, Marco's Outside. But as I mentioned, I'm trying to consolidate all of my hunting content, put it back here on Swamp and Stomp. So if you've already seen this one, I'm sorry. But a lot of people, I think, on Swamp and Stomp haven't seen it yet, and I wanted to share this one. So in this video, I'm going to be looking at a new saddle platform. It's a climber platform made by Osprey Outdoors. It's called the Lean Ascent. And there's actually been a bunch of different companies that have come out with these like climber platforms, and it's becoming a really popular way to get up the tree and to set up your platform. I've always been interested in them, so I asked them if they could send me one for demo purposes, and it's pretty sweet. So enjoy this review. I'm also going to compare it to one sticking in terms of like speed and safety, because that's the method that I use most. One of the reasons that I wanted to put this video out is because I want to make an announcement. So for those of you that remember, we've done these events in the past, the Saddle Hunter Workshop and 3D Archery Challenge. We're bringing it back. So for those of you that keep asking, when are we going to do that event again? It's finally happening. In this particular event, I've already got several of the companies that make these climber stands or these climber platforms have donated them for you guys to come and try them out. There's a bunch of different saddle companies that are sending their saddles for you to try out. We've got climbing sticks. We've got all kinds of things for you to come check out. There's not going to be any salespeople telling you which ones you should buy. You just get to try it out and see what you like. We're going to be doing climbing demos for all kinds of different climbing methods. And we'll also have sort of a show and tell time period where people can show off their customizations and the things that they like, for their own setups. It's going to be all about learning. And then, of course, maybe one of the more important things, there's going to be a 3D archery shoot that you actually shoot from the saddle. And the reason that I wanted to do this is because we always tell people that you should practice shooting from your saddle before you go out and hunt from it. But it's a lot easier said than done. A lot of people don't have the setup to be able to do that. So I wanted to create a situation where you can get out there, climb up the tree with your saddle, have a bunch of targets set up around you that are going to force you to take shots from different angles, so that you can really get a feel for your saddle and how you might take those shots in a real hunting scenario. It's a lot of fun, so make sure you guys come out. The event's going to be on February 8th. And on top of that, this event's actually going to be a joint event with Skull Hill Archery's Florida Archery Unleashed tournament, which is a 50 target 3D tournament. And that one goes for the whole weekend. It's from the 7th till the 9th. So you can come and you can actually shoot both the saddle tournament and his tournament and do the workshop. Especially if you're going to spend a night out there, you'll have plenty of time to do all of these things. It's going to be an awesome event. I hope you guys will be out there. Stay tuned. There's going to be more information coming soon, and you'll be able to do your pre-registration online and get signed up for the event. So hopefully I'll see you guys there, and I'll stop talking now. Let's check out this Osprey Outdoors Lean Ascent. My name is Mark Barton, and I'm what you would call an adult onset hunter. Growing up overseas, I thought hunting was only something people did in the movies. When I moved back to my homeland, I was determined to learn, but nobody would show me the ropes. I had to teach myself through trial and error. Once I started to figure it out, I vowed to create the resource that I never had, to educate, entertain, and inspire others just like me. Join me on my adventures, learn from my successes and my mistakes. Welcome to Swamp and Stomp. You guys may have seen these online, but there's been a couple of companies that have come out with a climbing platform for saddle hunting, and this is one of them right here. This is the Osprey Outdoors Lean Ascent. So we're going to be talking about what is so great about this thing. I'm going to show you guys how it works, and we're going to talk about the pros and cons. So if you've watched any of my videos in the past, you've probably noticed that I like to saddle hunt. And part of the reason that saddle hunting has become so popular is because it's such a lightweight package. Like, I'm wearing my saddle right now, and typically I would go into the woods with a platform and a one stick to get up the tree, maybe a climbing rope. But all in all, your whole package can weigh about 10 pounds, which is pretty different from everything people were doing before that, which was carrying in a climbing tree stand, which were typically around 20-25 pounds and really bulky. So most people like to use a set of sticks to get up the tree when they're saddle hunting. And while this is a really easy way to do it, and it's very accessible to the average person because it's basically like climbing a ladder, I don't like them because I'm limited on how far I can get up the tree. You're basically limited to that 15-20 foot range. When you run out of sticks, you just can't go any further. And here in Florida, we often hunt on pine trees that don't have any back cover, so I like to get really high up the tree. So I always liked, when I was hunting with a climbing tree stand, that I was not limited to how far I could go up that tree. When I moved into saddle hunting, that was something that I was always thinking about. Is like, I wanted to be able to get as far as I could. So normally what I do, I climb up the tree with this one stick. This thing weighs about 1.5 pounds with full rigging. It's got a 3-step aider. So I can move up to about 8 feet height in the first move, and then I can move about 4 feet with every single move. And I'm going to show you guys how that works here in a little bit, because we're going to compare this method to this climbing platform. With this method, once I get up to height, I would then hang up a platform. This is a Pursuit Outdoors Pursuit platform, I think it's called. Now, climbing down with a one stick, not recommended. So typically what people do is they'll use a climbing rope as they go up the tree, and then they'll actually hunt while hanging from this climbing rope. And then when they're ready to go down, they use a belay device to go back down. It comes with one major advantage, and that is that when you're up in your tree, if you see a deer off in the distance, you can just simply take your bow or your gun and belay right down the tree and go after that deer. And you can do it quickly and you can do it quietly. So I really like being attached to a belay device and a rope, so I can do that. So I don't see myself changing that in the future. And even with this climbing platform, I'm still going to maintain that. And that means that once you climb up for the first time, you can just leave your platform in place and just go down the belay rope. And when you want to go back up, you can just use a hand descender and your belay device to climb right back up the rope. So that aspect isn't going to change. I'm still going to be using the rope. So I'm curious to see how much faster I can get up the tree using either one of these methods. Now, I'll be honest, the main reason, like, I'm very comfortable climbing up a tree with my one stick, but the main reason that I was really interested in this climbing platform is because one sticking is inherently more dangerous than other methods. And the reason is, when you climb up your aider and stand on your stick, your rope, your attachment that is attached to your saddle, is basically at waist height or lower. And that means that you can fall for about 3 feet before it goes tight and catches you. And that can be a really dangerous situation. You know, it's only 3 feet, but I guarantee you, falling 3 feet and then being caught by a bunch of straps, it's gonna hurt. And there's a good chance you might actually break bones doing it. So it's something that I am very aware of, but I do it anyway because I find it to just be one of the more, the faster and quieter methods to get up that tree. But because I know it's dangerous, I wanted to try this climber, because this takes that danger out of it, because you're constantly keeping your tether attached to the tree above your center of weight, which means that you're not going to be able to fall. Or if you do, you're going to fall like a foot, which is far less dangerous. So that's the main reason I'm excited about these climbing platforms. So I'm going to show you guys how it works. Well, actually, let's talk about it first, and then I'll show you how it works. Literally the first thing that comes, like, that I notice is it's pretty heavy. In fact, I used it on a hunt, and you can actually watch that hunt. I did harvest deer. You can watch the whole thing. It's you can click up there, I think, or whatever the right side of the screen is. It's hard to tell because this thing flips it. But anyway, right side of the screen, you're gonna see a little link right there. Click on that. You can watch the hunt. And I was using this exact platform during that hunt. And while I was walking out that day, I noticed that, holy cow, this thing is heavy. It is a very large platform, so those of you guys who have like larger feet, you have bigger shoe sizes, you're gonna like this thing a lot.
But there's also a lot going on. You know, it's got steel cables. Those are heavy by themselves. You know, it's got all these, I mean, this frame is pretty beefy. So I completely understand why they decided to go this route to begin with. Anyway, so let's talk about the components here. So there is, just like with a regular climbing tree stand, you have your cable that goes around the tree, and it is supported. Honestly, it looks very similar to the Lone Wolf hand climber setup, but they definitely did it in a slightly different way. It's not using that that band that looks like a I don't know, like a serpentine belt, which I think is the part of that system that is patented by Lone Wolf. So I think they're safe from that perspective. But in terms of the way this attaches, it's very similar. It's blocked by these pegs right here, and it's pretty solid. I did notice that, like, as you're climbing, like, these will bend in a little bit because I'm a fat ass. But it's all very easy to adjust. So the way you adjust it, there's these pins attached. They're hanging on by a little cable, so you can't lose them. And honestly, it kind of seems like you don't really need the pins the way it's designed. So basically the cable gets stuck in this little groove when it pulls up. So there's no way that's coming out when it's under tension. I think the pins are really just there to stop it from falling back. But, you know, safety first. So once you get it in place, you get it at the size you want. Just take that pin and just pop it through there. One thing I don't like about the pins, though, is that, you know, it obviously makes noise. You can hear that as I'm doing it. It's a little bit noisy, but I think a little bit of, like, what's that tape called? The stealth tape on there will probably quiet that down quite a bit. Then once you get up to height, this is the strap that you're going to use to attach it to the tree. I'm just going to tie a little knot just so that it's right there ready for me to go when I get up the tree. But essentially you would climb up the tree with the stem out of the way like that, and once you get up to height, you can rotate this standoff here. You pull it out and rotate, and that's to make sure it stays out of the way of your feet when you're climbing. And then you can pick it up, you can attach it to the tree using that strap, and you know, you can cam it over. You can basically put it up against the tree like this, and you can just fold this. This stays behind the tree, and you just fold that up against the tree, tighten the strap, and then cam it over, and it's going to lock that thing into place real tight. It also does come with this little string right here. It's attached by a little bungee cord, and there's like a little cleat design right here, and this cord you can use to attach to your saddle, because you don't want to lose this. If this slips off of your feet for some reason, you don't want to leave it behind, because then you're in a cruddy situation, which again is far less important if you're climbing up the tree using a rope with a belay device, because if you do drop it down, you can just belay back down and pick it up. Whereas if you're doing it with just a tether, which obviously is going to be a lighter setup to carry into the woods, but if you're doing it with just a tether, if you come detached from this platform, you could be in real trouble, because you're just going to be dangling up in a tree without a way to move up or down. It does have an adjustment bolt here to change the angle. So that's nice. I always like to angle the platform down so it's more comfortable for me to stand on. It does make it, well, more comfortable for me to lean on in the saddle, but less comfortable to stand on. And then I guess the last part of this that I need to explain is these are the little stirrups that you would put your feet under so that you can pull it up with your feet. So let's go ahead and set this thing up on the tree, and then I'm going to climb up, and we'll see how easy it is. Side's glued on, I guess, but I'm going to take the pin out on this side, pop it out. So you always want to make sure that it's angled forward, because this tree is going to get skinnier as we go up. And if it starts to angle down, then you start getting into trouble. So it is angled forward a little bit, but I don't think it is enough. So I'm going to go one more step. All right, that's good right there. Whenever you're attaching with a belay device, you got to back it up. So we're using a VT hitch here and using my favorite friction hitch knot, which if you are interested in knowing more about, I will make a short video that shows how to do this. And you can check it out. It's a great hitch. If I were to fall, it'll catch me. Clip in. Safety first, y'all. All right, so if you're anything like me, which means if you're fat, then you're gonna struggle with one of these parts, and I'll show you that here in a second. But as you get on, let me just climb up. I find it's really difficult to actually get my feet into these stirrups because my big belly's in the way. So I basically have to like get in this awkward position where I can get to like this squatted position where I can actually reach down and grab them, and I can slip my foot in there. So it's probably just something I need to get used to, I guess, but it's definitely not the most comfortable thing. Anyway, so I'm in there now. And basically the way this thing's gonna work is you're gonna sit into your saddle, you're gonna push yourself off the tree, and you're gonna use your feet to pull the platform up. So it's gonna be like that. And you stand up, you can move your tether up the tree. Like so. You're gonna sit back down, you're gonna do it again. So let's just say we're up at height now, okay? And now we need to set it up on the tree. So probably the easiest way to do it is to kind of lower yourself down a little bit, like that. And we're gonna grab the stem. We're gonna rotate that standoff like this. Hopefully you guys can see. I think I have you angled down enough, like that. And then we're gonna grab the strap here that I tied off. We're gonna go around the tree. And honestly, like, I feel like the easiest way to do this is probably to just like come off the platform altogether and just hang next to it. But that does make it a little more difficult to get back on, but we're gonna give it a try. I'm gonna lower down just a tiny little bit. Kind of just put my knee on there. All right. So we're gonna attach this side to the button. I think it makes most sense to go under, around, under again, and attach. All right, so this is the part where you kind of have to take the weight off of it so that you can tighten it up. So we're gonna put our knees against the tree, we're gonna tighten that up like this. And I think it also makes sense here to loosen your cable, because that's going to give it room to cam over without interfering. So we're gonna get it as tight as we can without camming it, and then we're gonna push it down cam it. But anyway, then you're cammed and you can set up all your stuff and you got your platform in place like so. We're gonna be going down, and then when you get to like right here, you can pick it up, take the strap off, and take the cable off of one side. And usually I just drop my platform to the floor and finish my belay. All right, so now that I've demonstrated how this thing works, we're gonna talk about some of the, I guess, design flaws, things that I think they could have done better. So Osprey Outdoors, I hope you guys are watching this. These are some things that I think could be done better on the next one, but they are by no means like deal breakers. Still a great product. All right, let's talk about this here. So I'm gonna cam this thing over right now. All right, it's super loose. Like I could still wiggle that thing all around. That's not really helping the situation. I mean, the whole point of camming this thing over is that it locks onto the tree, that you can put side pressure on it, which you couldn't do with the predecessor to this, which was just the Lone Wolf hand climber seat, which is very similar, but it didn't have a way of locking it to the tree. So I will say that this locking mechanism is not doing us any favors. And the reason that I think that is because I think that the position of the Versa button is in the wrong place. It should be somewhere in the middle of the stem, because look, when you cam this over, that bottom is the part that's moving out. The top isn't, or it's barely moving out. So you're not really creating any tension when this Versa button's at the top. Now, I don't know if the picture in the box is just wrong and you guys actually mean for it to be attached in the middle. I don't know, but having it at the top here, that's what it's pictured on the box. That doesn't make any sense to me. So just to prove this point, we're gonna move our attachment points here to whatever the hell this loop thing is. I don't even know what it's for, but it's there. We're gonna attach to that instead, and we're gonna cam it over again. And I got a feeling it's gonna be a way different story. Yeah, see, now that thing is locked in place. This is how it should be. And if it's like this, I mean, look, I could put some pressure either way, and it's locked in place. So Osprey, I don't know if that was like a mistake, that it was just put together wrong for the pictures, but I think it needs to be made very clear, or at least I think you guys should consider, that the attachment points for the strap should be in the middle hole, not the bottom one. And these are equal sized holes, so you can switch these around. And maybe that was the intent, but that's not what the box shows. Now in this configuration, it's a solid platform. Like, this is really good. This is really nice. This is something I could see myself hunting from. Another thing that's mentioned worthy, I alluded to the fact that the pins that hold the cables in place are not needed. And that's clearly true, because when I just did that, I actually forgot to put the pin back in and I went up fine. But that is definitely a little dangerous, because if that pin or if that cable were to slip out while I'm climbing, or while anybody's climbing that forgot to put the pin back in, that's definitely a little sketchy. So maybe there's an option for you guys to create some sort of spring-loaded retention clip that you can just push out of the way, move your your cable as needed, and then when you let go, it just locks that cable in place. I think that would be a great way to do this, where people can't forget to put that pin back in. And also, those pins make noise, so that could be a good option. But that said, this is a good system. It works, but just little things that you could potentially improve on. All right, next up, we're gonna do a bit of a race. Not a race, I'm not gonna be trying to go as fast as I possibly can. I'm gonna be climbing the way that I would be climbing if I was hunting. I'm gonna be trying to be as quiet as possible, but I'm gonna be climbing up to that dead branch that's up there. That's where I want my platform to be. It's probably about 20 feet up. it's a good ways to climb. So we're gonna go up with the climber platform, and then for comparison, we're gonna go up with the one stick, and I'm gonna have to set up a platform up there. I wanna know how long is it gonna take me to get in position for hunting, and how quietly can I do it? And we're gonna compare these two methods. So let's get after it. I'm gonna be doing this. I'm not gonna set up the rope for either one of these methods, because I'm gonna use that in both of them. So the amount of time used for that is gonna be the same. But I am basically pulling, I'm starting the hookup from the way that this thing would look when it comes off of my backpack. So it is completely intact. This is how it would be on my backpack. All right, we're going. First person mode, activated. All right, we're cammed over, and that is solid. We're ready to hunt. So that was that one. I don't know how long it took. I'm gonna have to calculate that when I edit it, but it took that long. And now we're gonna get rid of it. All right, I'm ready to hunt. And it's worth mentioning, I'm about 4 feet higher, maybe 5 feet, than what I got to with the other one because of two reasons. One, that started feeling kind of unsafe because it was angling down. So it was gonna require me to go down and adjust the cable to go a little bit higher. So that's definitely one of the downsides to the climber. But it's safer. So, you know, I guess you got to think about what's the most important thing. And really the most important thing is safety. So while I think, I mean, I don't know, cause I can't see the time. While I think that it did take longer, with the climber and was a bit noisier, it is a lot safer. So there's a good chance I'm gonna start opting for that. But anyway, let's get down. Now I want you guys to make up your mind yourself about which one of these might be better for you. But for me, what I've decided is that if I need to backpack into a spot, like if I'm gonna be walking a good ways, I'm probably gonna opt for the one stick and the platform because it's just so lightweight. Like, but if I am riding my e-bike straight to the tree, or a four-wheeler straight to the tree, which I do a lot. In fact, you can watch the video where I originally set this thing up. When I did that hunt, I drove the four-wheeler right to the tree. But yeah, the thing is heavy. That's the only downside. So if I'm driving right to the tree, I'll use this thing every time because it's a huge platform. It's really comfortable and it's easy to climb with. But if I got a backpack in, I'm gonna be taking the lighter setup most likely. Anyway, if you're interested in getting yourself one of these Osprey Outdoors Lean Ascents, I'm gonna put a coupon code in the description. So make sure you use that, click that link. It'll take you right to the website and apply the coupon. Yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this video, that it was helpful, that you learned something. Let me know down in the comments if you want me to do any other kind of videos like this. I have a ton of gear that I can show. And methods that I can demonstrate. Other than that, I hope you guys are having a fantastic season. Click that like, little thumbs up, and subscribe to the channel. Tell your friends about it.